Hello, Muscle Machines fans. I want to give a thanks out to @SpielShare. That's a YouTube channel, and the person reviews diecast 164 scale cars, so you might want to check out that channel. I reviewed the black blown engine Countach, and he mentioned that this comes with a transporter set, so I tracked it down because I believe that a Countach should be red. That's the poster I had when I was a kid. I literally had a poster of a red Countach, like LP 5000 or something, with all the fender flares. Anyhow, this is transporter number 19 within the Muscle Machines transport line. And it's interesting, this literally has a sticker over it. So it says 1980 Mack R685ST flatbed, and then the Countach. I don't really care to do research on semi-trucks, so I'm not going to do that. It's really interesting. I think they have the same box and maybe just put different stickers on them for the actual thing going inside. I guess that's economical. It's very glossy and matte at the same time. I don't know what belongs here. It's just a sticker covering something. This is a licensed product by Mack. Interesting. I don't know if it's licensed by Lambo. Oh, it's probably over here somewhere. Okay, well, anyways. 3-year-olds and up. Cardboard packaging, Chinese domestic market stuff. It's pretty smart packaging. I mean, you can see what's inside it. You can inspect it at the store. This cardboard won't kill us in the future. The plastic will, but there's not much of it, and it did keep the product safe getting to me. There's even something protecting the bed from getting scratched up, I guess. Maybe that was sitting there. I missed it. Dang it, I guess I am going to learn about this truck. I might as well. I'm never going to review a realistic looking one. So the Mack R series is the second longest running commercial truck line ever. Only the Kenworth 900s lasted longer. So the R series were made between 1966 up until 2005. So many decades. They were made in Allentown, Pennsylvania, Hayward, California, and interestingly, Tehran, Iran. Iran used to be a Western country until the revolution. They used to be like Americans in the 70s and 60s, I think. Anyhow, the R series is a Class 8 truck, so we're talking the heavy-duty trucks, capable of moving 33,000 pounds or 15,000 kilos. So long freight, construction, all that kind of stuff. And so the ST in the name means it's a six-wheeler, and the T means it's a tractor. Okay, so that's what I cared to learn. It's quite interesting. This is the second longest running line of commercial trucks in history. And as you can see here, yeah, the front end does seem to match up with these really like rectangular openings with a round headlight in there. And then you have that somewhat trapezoidal looking kind of grill there. And yeah, the big Mack, I mean, being licensed, the front end does look like it for sure. Not too many with big blowers sticking out, so we may as well get into the toy review now that we learned about Mack trucks. Alright, so these wheels are just huge. I'm also curious how long this thing is. I'm just gonna... It's around 13 centimeters in length going to the back of this. It's actually even more, maybe 13.5 centimeters or like 5.25 inches in that ballpark. These wheels are just massive. They're like 27 millimeter tires. Muscle Machines aren't really 164 in the first place. They're just bigger in general, like the cars. So this truck actually is probably closer to 164. It's just compared to this. Alright, well, anyways, we have some black wheels there, wheel centers. There's some air openings here, which is nice. And then their lips are chromed. That's cool. It's got some curvature, slight curvature to the sidewalls. And then you have some old school tread, which is nice. And what I like about this brand is they don't put crazy knobbies coming out to the side. It looks like just a circle. That's what street tires look like. You know, it's weird to see knobbies on anything that's not a monster truck. These wheels in the back are a totally different casting. They have to be in the size, but they do have these openings and then a lot of weird dots. I don't know what those represent. I don't know. But these are probably just generic wheels made from the brand. They're probably not particular to a Mack truck. And then the staggering of the tires is pretty cool, right? While we're at the bottom here, it does have this keyway for something with a plastic base, but I'm actually glad they don't make you buy a plastic base. It'll just become pollution. It is nice that it also tells you this is a 1980 truck. Okay, Muscle Machines there, and Maisto. So you basically know everything you want to know, what it is and who made it. And then you have 1, 2, maybe 3 screws holding this together. And this is a toy. It does roll. That's a weird noise. It sounds like rubbing on corduroy pants. So I don't know if... Yeah, I don't think it's rubbing anything. I think it's literally the tread. Interesting. Alright, some really thin mud flaps here. I'm actually quite surprised for a 3-year-old child that these things would be strong, but I guess they are. Nice branding there, and then some red taillights, no license plate. And then the bottom of the flatbed here. Okay, so you have some sort of part number. And then what is going... There's a pivoting rod, crossbar. And that whole crossbar, I guess, slides in this groove here. There's some sort of hollowness underneath this opening here. Okay, I like to know how toys are made. And then you can see this thing aligns into that groove there to keep it from sliding sideways and also tipping prematurely. Alright, that's well designed. Nice orange reflectors printed on there. It's not a sticker, it's not a decal, it's literally paint. The nice chromed exhaust pipes here with actually some recesses there. You can put some black paint in there easily. Super chromed fuel tank. There's the filler and the step there. And then we have some sort of the Mack Bulldog, I believe is their logo. Yeah, okay. Some sort of detail of a vent perhaps. Get some fresh air and some decent enough panel gaps. No interior, which is fine by me. A little bit of a raised handle, painted silver. Mack looks really clear there as well. And then this is a bump with some yellow for the reflector. And then yeah, you have these rectangles with bumps for the headlights. It's all the same color. The grille is nice. I can clearly tell there's physical ridging, of course, but I think they did that so they could get the silver paint on there, on top of the black. That's nice. These recesses are just smooth. I kind of wish they were deeper. Yeah, or even hollow. They could have been hollow, like literally have openings. They would have saved some plastic. Alright. This is just getting crazy now. It's nice that they painted the belt there. Oh, yeah, they actually have the dog, the bulldog there. I thought for a moment that was just part of the engine, but it's not. There's the mascot. Is it part? Is it? What is? No, it's got to be a separate piece from this, right? Anyways, it's nice that they have some red paint here and the intakes covers there, and then the ribbing of a classic supercharger, some gold paint there, and then we have the air filter here, and this is probably a separate piece just because it's such a gap. I wonder if it's gonna break it, but that's nice. And they're going into the engine bay, which is nice. That all looks fine. Maybe an indication of a handrail here. That's raised right there. Same fuel tank, just mirrored. Yep, same. And then indication of the horns and the running lights up here. They're raised quite a bit, painted nicely. This is nicely painted as well. It's also physical grooves. Okay, to help maybe separate the paints. This is nice and hollow, which is cool. And then, yeah, you can see the rear window, and it's molded in detail for the window surround. It's not painted or anything, but that's fine by me. Same with over here as well. There's no chrome work or black rubber molding, but this is a cheap, well, inexpensive toy set, I think. Nice diamond plate pattern here, and then some bumps to keep the car from rolling off. I like how these things are actually angled. They're not just going straight back. They're literally splayed out a little bit. Yeah, and it's very shiny, chromy plastic. I really like how they have the two-tone effect of the black and the red. That's a whole another process they could have easily skipped, but it's well designed. This black here is raised from the red, so that probably helps them get better color separation. Well designed, very well designed cartoon truck. But the star of the show for me is Red Lambo. So I'm not going to talk about Lambos because I've talked about them so many times. So it's nice that they got black paint in here, and we have the styling house badge. I'm not sure if it's legible, I doubt it. Yeah, it's just indication of some text and stuff. No interior again, which is fine, but they actually printed on a matte black to indicate the rubber molding. They got the black paint in these vents here, looking good. The reflector here is orange on both ends, and the wheels, it's just a toy again, so it does, These things make funky noises. It's the same kind of pattern, just like, is it the same tread? Can't be. It is actually like the same tread, just different size tires, but they're like angled boxes as far as the tread goes. And that makes a corduroy sound to me. The same deal here. We know exactly what it is and who made it, so that's nice. Some sort of batch number. I do wish they maybe had a copyright date, so you know, like in 20 years when these things first came out. Screw there, I don't know. This is probably glued on and covering up a screw if I had to guess, but with no interior, I don't know why you'd want to modify this or open it. Alright, nice recesses there. The Countach is nice. Lamborghini's legible. Taillights look good enough. Although obviously I don't think there's a red app here for the middle one. I think it's just the body of the body color. The wing is nice. The struts are actually relatively thin, considering it's for a 3-year-old child. Why is it that these can be this thin, but Hot Wheels does their wing struts so thick, but they have the same 3-year-old child rating? That is odd. Anyways, yeah, it's pretty nicely painted. Some sort of indents, I don't know why. And then a separate plastic piece, recessed quite a bit there. Yeah, the windscreen, still smooth plastic. And then the printed lights there look pretty good. 4 colors with the rubber molding. The Lambo badge looks good enough. Some silver for fog lights, and then black for intakes to brakes and whatever else they would go to. I don't know why there would be 6. Leave a comment if you know. Seeing how the engine's in the back, so you would think that I'd be 2 up there to go to the brakes, but maybe it's a radiator. It's gotta be a radiator, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, okay, so we got the revolver wheels, and you got indication of the lug nuts and the center cap. And unfortunately you have this round thing. I don't know if that's supposed to try to be a brake. That's what I'm guessing. But I almost feel like they shouldn't do that, because obviously if you have white wheels, when's the last time you saw some white disc brakes, right? And they also do gold wheels. You don't really see gold disc brakes too either, right? So I almost wish they got away from trying to have a disc brake system and just have only the outside of the wheel. But the staggering is nice. And it's really nice that you actually have the tire so sunken into the body because they're so inset, and it can still roll. But from the side, it looks like a slammed Lambo, right? Very neat. So I have one other transporter, the 1950 Ford COE that came with the Shelby Cobra Coupe thing. I used to have the JDM one that came with the Skyline, but I sold it off because I didn't think I was going to collect these trucks. But this has rejuvenated my interest. It's a cool truck. I don't really care about this much, but I guess I'm going to try to collect each one of these castings if they come with a cool car. I originally bought these just to get the cars. Anyways, so here's, let's pop the Lambo up here. And you know what's weird about this? It doesn't really fit. This is kind of stupid. It's... look at the ridges here and the nose. The wheel actually isn't inset of that ridge there. So, yeah, that's kind of dumb, unless maybe it's supposed to go on backwards. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's not, I'm stupid, not Muscle Machines. And that's usually the case. So, yeah, that's quite interesting. They've factored in the rake of the rear end, and now you have plenty of room before it touches that wheel chock. I do feel the wheel chocks are too low, though. Like, they're taller on this black one. It's very easy to still roll over that. I feel like they should be higher, at least the height of the clearance of the ground clearance of these things. Anywho, slap that on there. Well, let's get rid of this actually. Just compare some Lambos. Yeah, so it's the trucks entirely. So here's the blown version that I reviewed. And I only found out about that from watching Champion GJK's channel. I knew about this, of course. This, I think, was their first release. I added some 1/64 scale license plate thing there. So there's the 3 Lambos I like, but this is the one that I envisioned a Countach to be, just because of the poster I had as a kid. But I do like the whole blown engine one, though, as well. That's neat. Hot Wheels had a funky tuned one here. I 3D printed my own wheels, but this is a copyright of 2004. Totally different deformation, much smaller model, as you can see. Here's a giant Lambo Aventador, I think it is. Maybe it's a Reventon, I don't even know. I added some paint. They're on AliExpress, but they're not listed under a brand. But it does say Unifortune, and I think maybe I found out it's called a Huataway. But you just gotta look up like cartoon diecast car on AliExpress and you'll find those things. I did repaint the interior of that. So yeah, that's a huge product there. Let me get some Chorokus. Alright, so this is a Wanda Coffee promo. It's such a weird deformation because the wheels and tires are so small. I think the doors on this open actually, yeah. But it's very strange. This is a Choroku Transformers, and these Transformers are pretty horrible. The horrible looking robots, but yeah, it's an interesting deformation because they're trying to make a robot out of that thing. Here's a Choroku Zero. That's the best line that Choroku has, but the tires are really flat on the rear for some reason. Anyways, this is casting number Z71, so there are many more after the fact. So that's a good deformation, but look how small it is. It's more like a 1/64 scale. And this is another freebie. I think it's by Suntory Boss. Nope, my sticker is Wanda. It's the wheels that came with it, a lot of tampo printing. So yeah, you can buy a lot of deformed Countaches, it seems, if you're into that sort of stuff. If you don't like cartoon stuff, you're wondering, you don't watch this video, of course, but I like cartoon stuff because I don't expect them to look perfect. Because cartoons don't exist in the real world, right? So I'm much more forgiving when there are defects and stuff like that and weird design decisions. But I would say, all in all, Muscle Machines is doing a great job. The only nitpick might be them trying to add disc brake systems in the same color as the rest of the wheel. That's about it. That's the only thing that's an issue. Everything else seems pretty well done. The quality control from this brand is very good. I don't think I've ever had a quality control problem in the ones I've reviewed. Alright. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you the next time we do a Muscle Machines.